Hello and welcome to an all-new DC Cast, Explosion Network's hub for all things DC Comics related. Let's talk about everything happening in Metropolis, Gotham, and beyond. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley, and joining me today is Dylan Blight.
Hello, happy to be here. I didn't watch the show.
Yes, today we're talking about the new adventures of Superman. No. Today we're talking about Lois and Clark, the new adventures of Superman.
Got him.
A show that you watch. It came out, to be fair, it debuted 1993.
I was born in 92.
So I was born, 88. So what, I was 5 when it debuted.
Age.
You know, so I believe what I remember most from the show is like the third season, from what I've checked of the Wikipedia page. So it would have been like 7. So, probably still too young to watch this show in hindsight, at least based on this first episode that we'll be talking today. But let's dive in. But first, Dylan, question without notice. Who should win the race between Superman and the Flash?
I've always liked the idea of the Flash winning, because I'm definitely like, you got to give like
Yes, it has to be the Flash because speed is his one thing.
Yeah, speed is his one thing. I'm not against. What was I trying to think how to say? I'm not against, like Superman doesn't get his ass handed to him. Like he puts up it's still a tight race, but Flash wins. But I feel like Flash, his whole thing is speed. Like
yeah, I totally believe Superman would let him win if he was actually winning,
even if he was fast enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
like, all right, let's dive in.
The Flash.
Please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about plot themes at ending of the pilot episode of the show. So if you haven't watched it, come back later. With that said, let's jump into discussing Lois and Clark, the new adventures of Superman.
Lois Lane, Clark Kent.
Nice to meet you.
He's the Man of Steel.
That's my boy.
Too bad he's an alien.
That man saved me. He's delirious. Put down those guns or I'll...
Or you'll what?
But now he's met his match.
You are a strange one, Clark Kent.
Am I?
Lois and Clark.
Yes, debuted September 12th, 1993. Ran for 4 seasons. It's based on Superman by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Developed by Deborah Joy LeVine. Starring Dean Cain, Terry Hatcher, Lane Smith, Edie Jones, Kate Callan, Michael Landis, Justin Whalen, Tracy Scoggins, and John Shea. Yes, Dylan, as someone who's never watched this version of Superman, what did you think?
What did you think? I didn't love it or hate it. It's just like, it's one of those things you're watching, like, feels very 90s is the way I would describe the show. I don't love his portrayal of Clark was my thing straight away. Like, he's sort of it's just normal guy a bit. You feel like he doesn't feel like he's trying to be, like, he doesn't have any of the playing the bumbling buffoon sort of aspect that Christopher Reeve brought to it, or and like it's just very normal guy, which I guess maybe that was the thing, but I don't particularly love that portrayal either. Yeah, and then I guess the show's, I guess, going for a more, like, obviously it's in the title, but obviously it's super focused on their relationships and the stuff. But as soon as they introduced that other girl who's just apparently wearing lingerie to work, I was like, God, here we go.
Cat Grant.
Oh, good lord. But I really liked Lois. I thought, like, just the introduction of her in the ridiculous costume at the start of the episode where she's like got a mustache and everything on. You get the sense straight away. It's like Lois seems like Lois to me. Like, super into the story. It's all for going for the, willing to go to the umpteenth degree to get the story sort of attitude. And I like that straight away they introduced the whole, like, I don't need a man or I don't need love, whatever. But then they show it, like, in bed, like, crying to a soap opera, like She wants some love in her life.
in kind of like a really dark soap opera when you think about it,
Yeah.
where some woman has effectively sold her body to a man,
Yeah.
even though she's in love with somebody else.
I guess there's always that, and again, they're not thinking about this when they're making that show, and especially not for this particular story. But there's a whole like, do you need a man to solve all your, to fill a hole in your thing? But I mean, it's just that like you could take. It's just the aspect she's so obsessed with her job that she doesn't take any time to,
Seriously consider.
yeah, and all that. So I'd say that I really enjoyed her portrayal. I really liked Lois in this. Wasn't loving the Clark Kent stuff. And honestly, I can't say too much about Superman because we don't get a lot. And I watched the pilot because you told me to watch 2 episodes, and I sat down with enough time to watch 2 episodes, and the pilot was 90 minutes. So
I did not know it was a feature length pilot. I didn't do any research. I was like, I'm sure it was like, that kind of stuff. I didn't realize it was a full origin story, kind of,
That's the other thing that's interesting. It's like, like he's arriving at the planet Metropolis, but still hasn't created his suit or anything. Took me a minute to like click onto, like, took me probably 15 minutes of the first episode to be like, oh, he's not Superman yet. Like,
no, he's just Clark.
Yeah, just Clark. Yeah,
a world-traveled man apparently, who's been all over the place. Wants to be a reporter and comes to Metropolis.
Knows where to get good Chinese food. China.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Very nostalgic. I appreciate it. I think a lot of the special effects held up reasonably well, considering it was a TV show in the 90s. Some of it's incredibly silly, like him walking off the walls.
Oh, I forgot about all the that was another thing I didn't enjoy. I didn't enjoy him walking up the walls. I didn't enjoy the random, like, just the times they're like, we've got good special effects for our budget. You can tell they're like, yeah, we can.
Apparently, the way they shot that walking up the wall is they had a rotating room.
Calm down, Christopher Nolan.
A bit unnecessary, but necessary at the time. I guess you want to show off, get an audience, like, show it's Superman. But yeah, I didn't mind his portrayal. Like, obviously, this is a different kind of Superman to any other ones we've seen, where he's kind of grown up but not become Superman until now. I think there's some very sweet moments, like when he goes to the theater and like he's talking to this woman that allows him to earn the job at the Daily Planet. I thought it was very nice. And obviously he's infatuated with Lois right from the start. Like, there's just something between them.
Also, I like when he writes the story. He gets that thing and he's like, goes home to his laptop and he's like writing the story. It's very obviously just footage that's put on 2 times, but then like smoke starts coming out of it.
Yeah. The cheesy stuff was quite funny. And that kind of stuff. I really enjoyed Lane Smith as Perry White. He's a great, older figure in the group. Obviously, this episode is quite interesting, whereas they're looking to this mystery around a space station, where they are going to send a bunch of colonists up there, hoping to cure a bunch of uncurable diseases.
Honestly, you know what it was reminding me of?
What?
It was reminding me of current day events, just with it's like someone's chosen for like this, we're going to send up and use this particular spaceship, and Elon Musk's like, no, you got to use mine. Like,
I mean, this version of Lex is not that far removed from Elon Musk. I would say I'm sure Elon has not arranged other people to get other people murdered, but
sneak snakes into his room just so he can stare at them.
I would totally believe Elon would do that. Ask someone to throw snakes in his room so I can stop them, stare them down. That sounds like something he would do. Yeah, and like inviting people and like, I'm in the tallest building because I want everyone to look up at me. That kind of stuff. I mean, it's not a terrible adaptation of Lex. But yeah, obviously there's mystery and all that kind of stuff around this space station and that kind of stuff. And then of course during the episode, Clark is getting to several situations where he could be potentially discovered for his superpowers. Obviously, I really enjoyed I think obviously it's in the credits, like the shot of him stopping the bus. His imprint is in the bus. Hand imprint.
That one woman or man or whatever.
That was like completely confused.
Fair enough.
The guy with the suitcase.
Mm.
Yeah, I had a good time. Obviously, very nostalgic, very of its era. I really enjoyed
Jimmy
it all
Olsen's
the time.
good in this as well.
This Jimmy Olsen stands out at the
Jimmy
very
Olsen's
least.
good, yeah.
Apparently he was recast after the first season because he was too much like Clark.
Oh.
What? Like look wise and
I don't think so.
age and that kind of stuff.
I looked up after I watched it. Lex is only in the first season, basically. It looks like.
Yeah, apparently they were not on board with helping him commute from LA or New York to LA or whichever order where it is they were shooting.
I wonder who are the big bads in future seasons then? Like
Intergang.
What?
Intergang and then Rogue Kryptonians, I believe.
Rogue Kryptonians. Okay.
Yeah. It only ran the 4 seasons, and apparently, the ratings dipped after season 3. To the extent where I believe I read ABC asked for them to buy out Warner Brothers to not make a season 5, despite signing a contract that they would. So, but yeah, I mean, Teri Hatcher, I think, is the standout from the show, and her Lois is fantastic. The lead character, it's the reason her name is first. Definitely like is the one setting the tone for the show and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, she's up there with Margot Kidder, for Lois's, which is we've seen a hard role.
Yeah, no, I would agree. She was. If I was in a world where I was watching the show again, I'd be watching it for her. She was the part I was enjoying. So.
Yeah. Although I don't know exactly what her plan was to get on that spaceship at the end.
Don't know. Just do. Don't think.
Don't think too far ahead.
No,
just
go.
How is she going to get back to report the story?
Mm-hmm.
No idea.
You don't spend time thinking about all these things that just get in your way.
That's true.
It's got to go.
Also, it's very funny that his solution to the bomb is just to eat it.
Yep.
Imagine it's like, that's your superpower. You can just eat anything.
I think also I'm just surprised that he manages to keep his secret identity for 4 seasons based on everything that happens in one episode.
Oh, he doesn't. I don't think he keeps it secret.
Okay.
At least from Lois. I think Lois figures out.
Because, it's just, he is doing a terrible job.
I also love the costume creation with Mark Kent all night.
That was a funny scene though. That brings up like, oh son, you keep getting caught and stuff like that. It's like, what I'm thinking is I might need like something that I could, just like maybe when I'm doing these things like I don't know, costumes,
disguise. And Mark Kent's like, they're not going to be looking at your face.
Yeah.
They're called tights for a reason.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Anything else you want to mention about the show?
No, I just think, I mean, you picked this one to add onto our
but it's on the list.
Watch along list, yeah.
It's a Superman show.
Yeah, I mean, we're not watching all the Superman shows, are we, though?
Not the animated ones.
We're not watching all of them full stop. We're not watching what's the other where they switch the name around? Clark and Lois.
Yeah, we are.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take back what I said. Don't worry.
We're watching the most recent one with.
Okay, we're just not watching we're just not watching the 1930s
serials.
Serials, yeah, fair enough.
I was just Batman v Superman. We're not watching.
I was just thinking it's interesting. Like Superman has such a long running
TV
lineage. Yeah, he's like the superhero who has the longest running TV lineage, which is interesting when you think about it, because he's a superhero who is heavily CGI reliant when you think of it. Like when you think like powers.
I mean, he is an incredibly overpowered superhero.
Yeah, but they
Yet he
somehow
is
to make
the one that constantly on TV.
Yeah, they make like 4 seasons of this. What? 9 seasons? 10 seasons of Smallville. 5 seasons of that other one that we're.
Yes, I believe so.
So like there's so many seasons. Crazy.
All right, let's know what you think of Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman. Are you nostalgic for the show? Let us know by finding us on Blue Sky at explosionera.com or find us on other social media at ExplosionPod. If you want to help us out here at All New DC Cast, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars and you can leave 5 stars, or just help people out the show. And if you've enjoyed this episode, thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko page at explosionera.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Join us next time for another All New DC Cast.